Maria?
Yes.
How's it going? I'm Josh. Nice to meet you.
Maria.
I'm the nurse.
Nice to meet you.
Do you mind if I shut the door?
Of course.
Great. If it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you a few questions that have pertain to a lot more patients than we have initially expected. So if that'd be all right, I'd like to just ask you some questions that we ask a lot of other patients.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Everything you say is going to be confidential unless it pertains to children or we feel that there's some risk associated with some at-risk defenseless people. These questions will be of a personal nature, and I can go ahead and do that. So in general, how would you describe your relationship? Would you say that it has a lot of tension, some tension, no tension?
Probably a lot of tension.
A lot of tension?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming you guys do have some arguments.
Of course, of course.
When you get into those arguments, do you and your partner work out those arguments with a lot of difficulty, some difficulty, no?
I would say a lot of difficulty.
A lot of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whenever you guys do argue, do you ever feel bad about yourself or down? Does that happen often, sometimes?
Probably sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. In those arguments, does it ever result in hitting or any kind of physical force being used to?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you ever feel frightened about what your partner may say or do?
Sometimes, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay. Is that often, sometimes, or?
Just sometimes.
Just sometimes. Okay. And has your partner ever abused you physically?
Occasionally, yes.
Okay. Have you ever been subjected to emotional abuse? Often, sometimes, never?
Probably sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned that your partner does abuse you physically. Would you be able to tell me a little more about that? I think the response you gave me sort of seemed like it was in between often and sometimes. I'm just trying to understand the frequency a little bit better.
I guess I would say sometimes. Occasionally we'll have fights where it just gets out of control,
Sure.
but it doesn't happen every time.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say it happens often.
Is there anything that tends to set these arguments off specifically?
Yeah, recently I decided I kind of wanted to go back to school, but he didn't really agree with that. And I decided to sign up anyway and get books and, stuff like that, and he found out about it. So that was one trigger that kind of turned into a physical altercation.
Sure. Well, you should rest assured going to school is a very natural thing. And
Yeah.
It definitely shouldn't escalate to the point that somebody's being emotionally or physically abused. So you shouldn't feel crazy in that sense.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to support you right now? Is there anything you need right now?
Not really, not that I can think of.
Okay. I don't have my information card at this time, but I can be sure to get it in here, and we can get you the resources that you need to be able to deal with this situation in a way that's most beneficial to you without stirring the pot so much
like
to
a
make
good
things
idea.
worse.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Maria, thanks for meeting with me.
Thanks.
Thanks.